African men are cheaters, liars, have multiple wives, have a wife back home in Africa, are scammers, and every single bad thing you can think of on earth. I mean, even the worst of the worst thing you can think of. Let's be real. African men don't really have a good reputation by European, American, Caribbean, heck, even some Asian women when it comes to dating. But are all of those things true? I can't speak for every African man. However, I will say there's some truth to that, but there's also some gross generalization and stereotypes behind that. Today, I want to do something that you guys have asked for. 3 reasons why you should date or marry African men. Let's get into it. Originally from Ghana, I can only speak for West African men and men from my country because that's who I am. So here are 3 reasons why you should date or marry African men. And stick around for some bonus tips. I'm sure these will be helpful. Reason number 1, African men, we don't discriminate any body part. Why do you always see an African man with either a thick white European or a thick African American woman? It's because we love every single body part. Look, racism exists, but body loving exists even greater with African men. We want the cellulite, we want the thunder stripes, we want the tiger marks, we want the plop, we want the fat, we want the fresh fries, we want the oil, we want the grease, we want the butter, we want everything. Whether you are skinny, whether you are fat, whether you are short, whether you are tall. In fact, we even want your baby hairs, we even want the hairs in your nostrils. We don't discriminate any body part. God made us fearfully and wonderfully made. So why won't we wonderfully and fearfully appreciate every single body part that God took his time to make on you? Reason number 2, African men add value to your life. African men, we are very proud of our culture. I mean, look at it. You have the Ashantis from Ghana, the Yorubas from Nigeria. And what do? They always instill that tradition in their women. How many Bella Naija weddings or wedding videos do you see where the woman is wearing the traditional clothes of the man? How many women do you see that go around singing, "If you tell me, say I love you"? Oh my gosh, I love Davido. That right there just shows you how African men will always teach you something new, will always level you up, will always provide you of something of value, because an African man is prideful and he doesn't want his woman to be a dusty, lazy ass, no good for nothing bum. If they elevate, they want to elevate you too. So that's why you must date or marry an African man. Number 3, African men know how to toast you. I know you've seen those stereotypes where they say, oh, African men, they never leave you alone. They always keep on bugging you. Listen, we are not bugging you. Simply put it like this. African men know how to use their God-given mouth. My sweet honey puff puff, my sweet delicious tomato rice and stew, the eba to my egusi. Are you an Oreo? Because I want to split you and eat you down the middle. If an African man tells you to that, why wouldn't you blush? No, give me a legitimate good reason. If an African man comes to you and says, my 5 loaves of fish and my 2 bread, does it hurt when you fell from heaven because you're an angel? African men are very good with using their words both in their native tongue or in the English language, French or Spanish, because we really do love giving compliments, because affirmations are the fastest way to a woman's heart. Men are visual creatures, women are audio creatures. It's no brainer that African men are good at complimenting and toasting you. So if that African man comes and toasts you, tell him to hit you with his biggest, most baddest pickup line. Or better yet, Tell him to follow Spicy Suya Boys and tell him to watch our pickup line challenge. African men are providers. Look, sometimes I know there's a stereotype that, oh, when I talk to this guy in Nigeria, he's always asking me for money. Look, if they're asking me for money, please, my sister, run. African men are providers. They don't want you to be stranded, and they don't want you to look like you don't have money, because you are a representation of them. African men are providers in the sense that back in the days, they will go and farm, collect all the produce, and then give it to the woman to go and sell. And then the woman will make the profit and then even give a cut for their man. So you have to realize that a real African man will provide for you financially, physically, spiritually, emotionally, and also orgasmically. Wait, is that a word? I honestly think it's a high time we put these rumors to bed. Not all African men are the same, and I can't vouch for every single African man. However, I know that they are good, God-fearing, humble, men of God, appreciative, providing and protecting African men that are just looking out for their queen. And don't forget, share this video with someone who loves African men, or someone who is currently dating or married to one. You could help save a life.